Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome. That was super singy this time.
That was.
Welcome back to the Unhinged BookCast. This is a book podcast hosted by two book besties. I'm LJ.
And I'm Jess. Whether this is your first time joining or you've been here from the start, we are happy and thankful you are joining us.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just riding the vibes, we love discussing our current reads with each other and now with all of you.
Tonight, we are having our final discussion for the Nytfall Trilogy by Chloe Peneranda because we have finished The Dark is Descending.
You can join our discussions chapter by chapter in our club on the Fable app without spoilers. We have one book club for the current series we are reading through and another for the Book Besties Thursdays.
Book Besties Thursdays is more of a monthly book club where we read a book together and discuss it as a whole, just like a book club. We are currently reading Direbound by Sable Sorensen.
Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Fable, and right here on YouTube for new episodes, updates, and fun book related content.
And don't forget to share, it helps us grow and reach new friends. But before we get started, we need to give a quick content warning.
We are reading romantic fantasy books, which tend to include violence, open door romance, and other mature themes.
Though our conversations tend to skirt these topics, we do frequently use naughty words that are not intended for little listening ears.
Okay, let's do this. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about it and discuss what we thought of not only this reading section, but this book, and honestly, really just this whole series, since we have completed a series that is a completed series.
Yes.
And I'm so excited.
Super nice.
It's like oh, it's sad it's over, but like it's over. And we're not
When they end happy,
dang.
I was like, yeah, I was like, I like this because it's been a hot minute since I have read a
It's been
completed
a hot
series
minute too for
for the
me.
podcast or
Yeah.
otherwise. So,
And just like everything now is just like everything's like we're waiting on books right now, and they're all going to be
yeah.
released this fall. Everybody's going to be going crazy trying to read everything all at once this fall, which is going to be really funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
And
this
I think
was
most of the stuff coming out this fall is not going to complete many of the
it's still
series
not
that
going to
we've read.
complete
They're
some of these
not going to be
series
completed.
exactly.
So
And
this was
it's
really nice, actually.
yes, it was nice that we're just like, oh, that was great, and the
Hmm.
story is over, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Loved
Yeah.
it.
I enjoyed it.
So, but somehow at the last part of
The
a three
last
book
book.
series of the last book, yes, we still have new characters, and honestly, quite a few
A
names.
lot of them. And some that are like maybe one or two that are character development, but most of these are new.
Most of these are
So,
new.
okay, first of all, we have Master Dekatu. Sure.
Sure.
A powerful mage responsible for hiding the remaining 15 dragons in the temples. And I've got a little bit more about him in history. He was only mentioned once at the very beginning of our chapters, but
I'll okay. So speaking of the dragons, um, Arrakis,
mhm.
which is one of the dragons. And then we have Rastaban, which is
Mhm.
Eli's daddy, which I also believe is the dragon from Night's Vision that we've
Yep,
talked about.
I agree
Yep.
because he had leathery wings.
Yes. So I think the vision was playing out when they were killing Knight's father. That's kind of what I
Yeah,
was thinking. Yep.
yeah,
That's why I was saying I don't think that that vision has been completed yet. I didn't think so. So,
yep. I think you're right.
and then I have Alteus, which
Hmm.
is Lilith's yellow dragon.
Hmm.
And then moving out of dragons, we have Viscaris, which is the reigning lord of East. Oh my goodness, East Astrinus. I'm having hards with the us's and the
Astrinus,
F words
Astrinus.
today.
Is it Astrinus or Astrinus? It doesn't matter. What's
It
over?
doesn't matter. It is what it is now. So and then I have so Lionel is his son,
Hmm.
and then Gwyneth is I'm not sure if she was technically the daughter, but she's at least the heir.
I think she's the daughter.
I think so too.
The mom's name is also Gwyneth.
Oh, really? I missed
Yeah,
that.
they were both Gwyneth. They're Gwyneth
Both Gwyneth.
Senior and Gwyneth Junior.
Interesting. I mean, whatever works. But that's the heir. And then I have Balthazar Korik, which is a pirate captain.
Yes.
And then he has a little boy named Brody, which we,
Yes, I love
oh my goodness,
Brody.
I can't wait to talk about
Me
that at the
too.
end.
And then Vermont, we finally get to actually meet him. His name came up in book one, but we actually got to meet for a brief moment before he got
For a
killed.
brief
Uh,
moment, and we will talk about this all when we
yes,
get
we
there,
will.
but oh
But
my
Vermont,
goodness.
he is the pirate overlord of Volanus, Volcano Atlantis.
Mhm.
He's like a god to those that are on Volanus. And he's human, but he has lived well past a human lifespan.
Yep. And then Kairos, which
Yep.
is Vermont, the pirate lord's son's adopted
Slash
human
stolen.
mage son. Yes.
Adopted slash stolen. That was very
Adopted,
unclear, but clear,
stolen
somewhat clear
human
also.
mage son thing.
Yes.
He's a dude, and I like his name,
Also known
Kairos.
as, well, and he's also known as Karaki. His
Oh, I
like
missed
mage
that.
name. Okay, yeah, he says that when they take him with him, or when he's like very first introducing himself and he's like, take me with you or whatever, and then he's like, yeah, he stole me slash adopted me, whatever. I'm a pretty powerful mage and my name is actually Karaki, but Vermont called me Kairos. And then Estrella
Oh,
was like, where have I heard that name before? That name rings a bell. And then we never heard any more, so I'm wondering if it's from the other series.
yeah. And Balthazar, Knight said that about Balthazar
Yes.
as well. So, yeah, it could be from the other
Mm-hmm.
series. They're just coming over from that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it
Right.
messed with me because our last series we actually had a Crocky, right?
Cracky.
Crack. I can't remember
Cracky.
what his real name was, but the old guy in that one. Then I was like, and when he
Yes.
said his
And
name, I was
remember,
like,
he has
wait,
like the last line of
yeah,
that book too when he
yeah,
comes in and he says the dragons are awoken. And then that was okay.
exactly.
Anyway, I cannot wait for that book to come out. That
I
one.
know, exactly. And so when he said, yeah, this is my name, and then Estrella's like, oh, that name is familiar. I went, yeah, that name is really
Yeah, that
familiar.
name
Where
is
do I
really
know that? And then I was
familiar.
like, wait, totally different series. That's why that's familiar to me. It's not even spelled the same, but yep. Okay, continue.
And then so we have Raider Luna and Antilla Luna, which
Hmm.
is Zypher and Katrina's kids.
Hmm.
Um, and then I have Eos and Astraeus, which is Dusk and Dawn's true names.
Why did
And
Estrella sound familiar?
because Astraeus is like
Is it because
the
it's so close to Estrella? Or
yes, but
have we
also
heard that?
Astraeus isn't that where they're at?
No, the continent or whatever is called Salamis, and there's one realm called Astrinus, or something like that, but nothing that's Astraeus. I think it maybe is just too close to like one of the realms and her
Yeah,
name
and
or
she's Estrella,
something.
and yeah, I don't know, but it felt
Because
I was thinking the same thing,
I
and I
almost blew
could not.
past it. Because I was like, wait, hold on, that's his name? I felt like it was almost anticlimactic because I was like, wait, we've heard that.
I know, and
But
then
maybe we have.
but I could
Don't
have
know.
swore it was going to be like Ethos or something like that, because like the God of Death or something. This was in like the first book or something. We hear a
Hmm.
little like prophecy about like something, and it's Ethos, the God Ethos or something like that.
Ethos.
So it's
Interesting. Okay.
Eos and Ethos. So I was like, okay, is this a typo? Like, I gotta know. Like, is this a typo? Did we start with it was gonna have one name and then he had another name? I don't know. But I was so fucking confused. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was confused here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, because I didn't put this since we're talking about it, and I don't think either one of us put it in notes later. She knows his name because it's almost like Night is like singing a song to her in her head instead of just like telling her the name there at the
Mm-hmm.
end. And I'm wondering, is this the song? Are these like the words to the song that's in the
The
little
ballad.
box, or is it the
Yeah.
ballad, or it's not the same as the ballad because I went back and read that at least that part of it. Maybe it's another chorus. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was sounded so familiar. I was like, where and why have we heard that
I was
before? I
thinking
don't
the same.
know. Okay, well, cool. No answers, but
We know answers,
on
but
the same page.
we're both confuzzled.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
All
I think the
right.
only
Let
other
me
two I
scroll
had
down.
were Kenton and Ethan, which were the
Yep.
Nightcrawler twin brothers.
Yeah, we
Also
finally got their names.
anticlimactic.
That part really was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Marvelous, which is Knight's mom. That's
Yeah,
her
I must have
name.
missed that.
Yep, I was right at the end there. But she is the spirit of souls and the goddess of the stars, the mortal mother of the gold-eyed children. I have more on her later.
Hmm.
So, and then right at the very end, we have Faith Ashfire. Again, probably someone that we would have seen in the other series, but it's Knight's cousin, who appears to be reigning in his home realm currently.
Yep.
There at the end when he shows her in the mirror. So I will
In
probably be
the
reading the
epilogue,
other
right?
series. Yes, that's in.
Yeah,
No, that's right at the end of the book. No, that is in the epilogue. Yes,
it's in the
epilogue.
epilogue. Yeah.
Yeah. I will probably be
Um,
reading the other series because I've got some serious FOMO now.
I think I'm going to too. I think I'm
The
just
first one is free on Kindle Unlimited, so
okay.
I don't know about the others. I haven't looked at them, but
Okay. Maybe I've been looking into that too. Great. Location, 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 also known as map rants. All I have for you to end this out is Volantis. Okay. But my friends, what the fuck? I wanted more. I wanted this to be like the secret
yeah,
hiding place of the mirror. I wanted this to be so much more. I wanted this to be where the
yeah.
battle, like the end battle was. I don't know. For whatever reason, I thought
So
this was
many
going to
more
be bigger than
secret. There
it
should have been
was.
way more secrets there, way more stuff going on there. I agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but it was definitely anticlimactic.
Yeah. And I definitely found like the treasure room interesting,
Oh
but it
yes.
just, I wanted more. And now I'm disappointed. I was so excited about all of this. And now I'm just like, come to report to you nothing.
Nothing. I feel like it would have been better if she had actually introduced us to this island in book two or even at the beginning of this book, and then let us like, I don't know, there be some sort of connection between the treasure trove and something else going on. I mean, there kind of was, but like more stuff in there. I want to know what else is in there and why.
Right. Yeah. Because there's like all
And
the different fangs and
yeah, yeah, like why?
yeah,
And claws and who knows what
because
else.
he's a collector of things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. It was
Yeah.
not terrible, but not
Not
great.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay. So let's do history and stories from the past. So why don't you tell us what you found, Jess?
All right. So, chapter 30. This is from Dryston about the dragons. So from the book, he says, the world began in chaos, a battle of storm, fire, wind, sea, and darkness. From each birthed a creature that embodied the land's wraths. The dragons with scales of flame and a breath that bears the heat of the sun. The dragon with scales of tanzanite and a breath that strikes the lightning of vicious storms. A dragon with scales of the forest and a breath of lethal gales. The dragon that appeared to be made of water that could flood islands, then the feathered dragon to rule the rest. Those of black or white with breath of starfire that could rob the senses of humans, decay any life it touched, and what kept the other dragons submissive to them was that the celestial dragons could take away the magical power of any other living thing with their magic. So that was the first part of that,
Right.
which was kind of cool. And honestly, I didn't even think about that when the water dragon came into play. I was so taken off guard. I was like, "What?" But that would have been the other. It says it
Yeah.
right there. That's one of the kinds.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and then again in chapter 30, so Estrella asks how the age of the dragon fell. And Dryson says, the same thing that collapses all empires in the end, Dryson said as he rose, greed and envy, those who couldn't secure the dragon bonds started hunting them. Dragon scales, their blood, their bones, it all could be used for various extremely powerful dark magics and remedies. A civil war broke out, no one species against the other. It was carnage until someone by the name of Master Dekatu along with 17 other mages, cast the last 17 dragons into these paintings to protect their legacy. It killed him and the others, leaving his own white celestial dragon, Fasara, as the last who would birth an egg, foretold to free the dragons again when the Queen of the Kings reigns.
Yes. So that would be Eli.
Eli
And then,
and Estrella,
yep, and that makes her the Queen of Kings.
the Queen of Kings. I like that,
I like that too.
the way that sounds. All right, and then the only other thing I have is all the way in chapter 47 now. We finally see like the other side of what happened, or what happened when Oster stabbed Estrella with the key the second time.
Yeah.
Because like the first time it was like this test. That's when she goes through the void,
Well,
finds
and
Night.
he technically didn't stab her the first time. It was just like some night crawlers that he had to see
True.
who she would
He
go to.
orchestrated it.
Yeah.
He orchestrated it, but it was not her or not him.
And
So
this
this
is
is
when he killed
this
her before she died for a whole bunch
right,
of long time, and then she
like
was brought
actually
back.
died. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when Knight finds her and he talks about how he found her and he carried her body, her limp body to the temple and all this kind of stuff. And then the bargains happen. So this is right before that. Basically, she's having a meeting. Somebody comes in and tells her that there's a battle that's broken out in like this mountain pass. She goes to see what's going on, realizes the battle's been going on for a while. Nobody came and told her. She hadn't heard about this battle, truly couldn't figure out who was on whose side, who was fighting who or why. And then all of a sudden this dark cloaked figure is in front of her, but she's still all she can see is his eyes, but she recognizes it as Oster.
Yeah.
And he stabs her with the key. And
Yeah.
that's how he gets his metal
That's how
arm.
he loses his arm. Yeah.
Yes, he loses his arm. And she says how she's too weak to even try to use the void, and she's calling tonight in her mind just because because she realizes that she's dying, and then he appears to her. She can't see him, but all of her other senses realize it's him. And then that's the part where, on Knight's point of view, we see he takes her to the temple and
He
all that.
takes her to the temple. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
All right.
that's it.
Let's do plot points then. So these are just some rapid fire, quick bullet point notes, especially for like tonight because we are done. So
And we
there's
had
not
like
really
almost
any,
exactly the same notes.
yeah, and there's
So
not really any more speculating because there's nothing left. It's
it's
over.
a
It's
completed
done.
series. Honestly, it
It's
was
so
almost
cool.
weird doing plot points for a completed series because it's like, what do we talk about? I mean, we both
Yeah.
have plenty to talk about, but
Yeah, exactly.
there's no thoughts or theories or where's this going or any of
It's so
that.
crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So chapter 30. Um, Dawn was saying that like she's nothing more than stardust, right? When she meets
Mm-hmm.
Dawn outside the temple and she like makes her kind of like float away into stardust, kind of like at the end of the Avengers when
Yes.
Thanos snaps and then they all just dust away.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah,
like we don't really get much of a resolve on that. That was just kind of like a weird, I don't know. I thought it was weird,
I
but
agree. I feel like uh the way that all switched, I actually flipped back a couple times and was like, did I miss something? Because
right?
like
It
she's
was
floating
just
away and then all of a sudden she's back with Night and Dawn's gone and all this stuff. And I'm like, did I miss something? We switched places and everything.
are we not where we're supposed to be? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so and then also like she thinks that like they could become Dusk and Dawn to save the realm in the end, which is what they end up trying to do.
Oh, I think I missed that. I don't
Mhm.
think I remember her thinking
Um,
that. Okay.
and then the Raven comes down, and that's like the guardian spirit that saves her from Dawn, I guess. But we realize that
Which
like Dawn isn't trying to kill her yet because she doesn't have the key.
the key.
Yeah.
And okay, was the Raven death? Oh, an omen
No,
of
Raven was
like
one of the
deaths?
guardian spirits, so it
That's
was two of
right.
her guardians.
And they explained that. I
Yep.
remember that now.
I can't
You're right. Okay.
remember which one. I want to say it's like the Fae and the Celestial, but I can't remember.
Well, they were all with a vampire. I think he was a vampire and celestial. Some sort of vampire. All three bonds were
Oh,
with some
maybe
sort of
okay.
vampire. There's
Maybe it
vampire
was
and fae,
one of the
vampire and
vampires and a
celestial, and
Fae.
vampire and human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have so 32, we have Gwyneth's mama is basically she has like dementia. Okay, and they want Knight to heal her or at least
Yeah.
try by using his mind powers. And then in 33, he comes and like plays violin because he plays
Yeah.
violin or whatever. And then that's when Dementia Mom tells them that Dawn's name is Eos through this little like poem, I guess. I don't know, song,
Yeah.
poem, whatever.
She says, beneath the sky where starlight glows, through silver mist the cold wind blows, a dawn awaits where beauty shows the tender light of the goddess Eos.
I don't know. I thought that was strange, but
I also kind of felt like it was somewhat anticlimactic
it was just a
of
weird way,
like,
like, oh shit, now I gotta put names in here somewhere.
yeah, that's exactly how it felt.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Like,
the
oh,
worst
I
way to
should have
put it
like
in there,
been
but
doing this earlier.
yeah, it's like all of a sudden Knight can play the violin. We've got these new people. We've got a ruler of the East
It
part of
would have
this
been cool
realm.
if like this was the ballad from like the guy in the shop from the first book.
Yes,
You know
agreed.
what I
If
mean?
that
Like, or
connected
something like that. Yeah. If there was like some connections from
from the music box that we find out
previous.
she actually had forever
Yeah.
in the tower and then finds later again in the shop, and
Yeah.
that would have been cooler.
It would
Yep,
have been a little better if there was more connection, or maybe we missed some of the connections. We don't know, but
that's also true.
yeah. Okay, chapter 34. So I keep saying fucking Felicia, but her name's not Felicia, it's Fedora, but I like Felicia better. So fucking Felicia is taking Estrella's blood to be able to find her later when they get the trident or whatever. And I
Yeah,
immediately was like, this is sketch.
yeah.
This is sketchy. So I was catching on. And then also in 34, I was like, oh my fucking God, we're going to Volantis. Stay calm. Everybody stay calm. So I was like freaking out. I was like, this is it. This is happening. I'm so excited.
I know. I know. I did not quite as dramatic as you, but I was like, we're finally going to Volcano Atlantis.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they end up boarding, well, through a series
Balthazar's.
of of events.
Yeah.
What's it called? The silver, his ship, the
Oh,
silver.
Silver Serpent?
No,
No.
something to do with Starlight. I have it written in my other notes somewhere.
Okay.
Anyways,
I
not
didn't write it
important.
down.
He is the Silver Sparrow. The Silver Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Yes, so Captain Balthazar Korik, captain of the Silver Sparrow, comes along after their little encounter with Felicia. We'll call her Felicia. Fedora rescues them from the water, and then yeah, he's got the monocular of the treasure trove.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And then it just we can talk about this in the end. Never mind, I changed my mind. But yes. But we
Okay.
have to do it. We have to get the telescope in a trade for a lock of Estrella's hair
Mm-hmm.
and some blood,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think any of this came back around. Do
Nope.
you?
No, I don't think it came
Okay.
back around at all. At
It
least the
was
hair and the blood
just,
part. But I
yeah,
think, personally at least, I do trust him now.
I do too.
So I'm a little more okay with it. But also, we don't have any more book series.
Yeah, to go off of.
So I
So
guess it doesn't matter at
doesn't matter.
this point.
Doesn't matter. Um, and then chapter 37. So this is like a little bit more of a jump, but so Vermont has Knight's wings in
Yeah.
um his little treasure room, and then the trident is gone. So Knight burns his wings and he's sad, but like also like happy that it's gone and that nobody can hold him anymore.
Hmm.
And then the trident is gone, right? And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, it's fucking Felicia. I immediately knew it was fucking Felicia.
You thought it was her? I knew it was Oster,
Yes,
and it was Oster.
because no, it wasn't.
They literally said that in the book.
No. So Knight says, well, that's yeah. So they're like, okay, so that's how Oster probably got. Um, so there wasn't a key piece there, which is what they'd gone for. And so that's probably what Oster got was a key piece that was a dead key piece by trading Knight's wings for that key piece. Knight knew that the trident was there, so that wasn't like part of it. The trident, Knight even says they were checking our blood as we came in. So because her Estrella's blood was dropped after that whole thing with fucking Felicia, that is how Felicia knew that they were there, and Felicia went and got the fucking trident because that was the deal. Was like when we have the trident, we'll drop Estrella's blood and then you'll be able to get it. Come get the trident.
But then,
So she came and got it because that's how she has the fucking trident in the end.
I think that Oster, I'm actually looking it up because I'm almost positive it literally says that Oster was the one who traded the wings for the trident, gave it to Knight's father. That's why she allies with Knight's father in the end, because he's the one who gives her the trident. And that's why she picks his side. Because Oster was working with Knight's father.
Hmm. Because like at it's like one of the last things Knight says in that scene is that it's because they were checking their blood, and that's why it was gone. The trident was gone because they
I
were
remember
checking
that, and I
her
remember
blood.
not understanding how that connected. So you could also you might be right. Um,
Yeah, because that was like the deal they made with Felicia was to take her blood. And I was like, this is in chapter 34. And I was like, this is so sketchy. And so I was like watching for Estrella to obviously like bleed at some point for anything or everything. And they were checking the blood when they came in. And that was like supposed to be the deal was that they would draw her blood
mhm,
when they had the trident for her to come get. So it like summons her to come get the trident.
mhm. Which what you're saying makes total sense. It really truly
And
does.
it could just be, unfortunately, another, because I thought that too. Because then they were talking about it. It's like, oh, it must have been Oster. It must have been the dad. It must have been this and it must have been that. But I was like, I don't know. It just didn't. There was a couple of things that didn't line up. So I was very
I
confused
do
with
agree.
this,
There
but I
was
could
some
have
things that didn't line up.
swore that's how that played out. At least in my head, that's how that played out.
All right. I looked and I can't find what I'm looking for. It probably doesn't exist. So I'm gonna go with your theory because it makes more sense to me anyways.
Well, it's also like I kind of wonder because like they talked about like, okay, well, maybe it was Oster, maybe it was dad. So I'm kind
Yeah,
of wondering if it's not necessarily loose ends, but just too many tied ends.
sure. Okay.
um, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like because Knight was like, oh, and they checked all our blood when we came in here because
Mm-hmm.
they just pricked all their blood, remember? And it was like supposed to turn yellow or blue or whatever if they were Fae or human.
Yellow if they were human, blue if they weren't, I think, or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, yeah, he was like, they were checking our fucking blood when we came in here, or something like that. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's it. That's where they prick her blood because I was watching for that. And then, like, also, like, because I was worried about when, like, right after that, when what's his bucket gets a vial of her blood.
Oh,
So,
Balthazar. No.
yeah,
Yeah,
Balthazar. Yeah.
that would have been right before that. But yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. So that's what I'm wondering if it was just too many tied connections in the end
Okay.
and not a straight answer. So,
Okay. We can go with that too.
cool. Chapter 38. I just put, all right, guess he's dead. And
I know.
I was so deflated because I was so excited about this pirate overlord that I was waiting to see come back. I knew would come back,
Hmm.
Atlantis, and oh man. Yeah. So then you tell
Hmm.
me what else you have for chapter 38.
Okay, so we kind of talked about this a little bit. And honestly, I would say this is probably the only interesting thing that truly came out of Volantis, Volcano Atlantis or whatever, Volantis. Kairos, the adopted slash actually stolen son, is actually this great mage, like we said, called Karaki. And he was stolen by Vermont as a child and raised as his own. And he tells of a prophecy that two of the most powerful magic wielders in all of Solanas would produce an heir greater in power than even you. He's talking to Estrella, and they would unite the five great continents of the world. Which
Mhm.
again, I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the other series, because we're
Which I
on
bet it
one
does.
current continent right now, which is Solanas. So
Yeah,
there's
and even Astrea's
five
like, what do you mean
great,
five continents kind of
yeah.
thing? Yeah.
So five great continents, and this I'm assuming is different than realms, right? Because
I would
realms would
think
be
so,
like
yeah.
other planets. Like when I think realm, I think space and different planets and stuff. When I think continent, I think obviously continents on the same planet.
Hmm.
So, and then this prophecy, this is like the only time we hear about this prophecy because supposedly back in book one, when what's his bucket was trying to sell um Estrella to whatever his name is, Vermont,
Vermont, yeah.
um, Kairos tells us that his plan there was that he was going to have Estrella be Kairos's bride. It was like an arranged
Hmm.
marriage situation because he knew of this prophecy, and Kairos is a very powerful mage, and he knew what Estrella was, so he thought, well, I'll just have them mate, and then whatever their kid is, their heir or whatever, will be this powerful person. But that's the only thing we hear about this prophecy
Hmm. I agree. I think this is something else that
from
connects
the
to
other
the other
series.
series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. All right. Chapter 39. So Tristan has gotten the rest of the keys and the dragons. Okay, so then chapter 43. So we find out that they can like use the power of their bonded dragons, like
Yeah, that was cool.
up their level. I've been
Yep.
reading
Me
Dungeon Crawler
too. I'm
Carl.
halfway through it. I'm halfway through it, actually. I forgot to tell
I
you that.
finished it in like 2 days. I made my husband read it, and now I'm starting the second one. So
Really?
yes, I love it. It's great. We should have a whole entire episode on Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Sure, we totally can because
Let's
I'm
do it.
enjoying it.
It's a good time. Um, yeah. So
So they leveled up. They
yep.
can
So they
use their dragon's
level
power.
up basically, so they can use the dragon's power. Yep.
Which I had kind of suspected was happening for a second, but then forgot that I had suspected that until they said this, and I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
that it was possible. That's cool.
It makes sense too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then so Nadia comes back and
Mm-hmm.
she is good again.
Yep. Yep. She isn't bad.
Yep.
She's a double agent, I guess we could call that. And in
Yep.
my mind,
Yep.
okay, I don't know if you've watched The Office, but in my
No.
mind, I'm going snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap, because my husband says it all the time. In The Office.
He
If you've
has some of the
watched The
funniest
Office,
one-liners.
if you watch The Office, the main character, one of the main characters, he's talking about how his psycho girlfriend made him get a vasectomy and then a reverse of the vasectomy and then a vasectomy and then a reverse of a vasectomy. And he's like, do you know what that does to the human body? Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. That's what I was thinking all the whole time.
That's really funny. I'm gonna say that to my husband now. Let's see. So then chapter 45, we have like the big old fight or whatever, and that's what I'm pretty sure was the scene that Knight seen in that white buffalo vision.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure it came up down to all of this when
I think you're right.
Rasta
R R what is his name? Gosh dang it.
Rastaban
Rastaban,
Rastaban and the
Rastaban. Yeah.
king dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 45, the king is dead.
I'm sorry. And as soon as Rastaban or whatever came back to life, I was thinking he's gonna go bond with the king.
Oh yeah,
I
me
immediately
too.
had that thought.
When
But I was
he
still disappointed when I found out it was true.
when he's like leaves after Stray tells him no or whatever when he's going for
Yeah.
Eli, and then I was like, oh yeah, goodbye. You're gonna go bond with somebody else, and it's
Hmm.
not gonna be good. Yep. All right. So then I jumped to chapter 49. And so this is like the big basically setup we find out, which at first we don't know is a setup to kill
Hmm.
Dawn.
Hmm.
And it looks sketch at first. I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah, big
fuck, all these
time.
assholes are in on this.
Yes.
And
Yes,
oh
like
shit.
Nazir and everything. That for a
Yep.
second, I was
But
a little
really
mad.
they had been planning it
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. And then Zephyr, RIP my guy,
Yeah.
RIP. It was sad, but he got
It
to
was
go
sad.
with Katrina. So that was sweet. Um,
And he
and then
kind
so
of got his
now,
own little bit of revenge there at the end too.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Agreed. Chapter 50. So this is when we are ready for the big fight, right? So
Hmm.
it's going down now. This is it, man. And then I said, Felicia, you fucking bitch.
Yup.
Because here she comes with a tidal wave and apparently a dragon, which
Yeah.
we don't see that at first, but Balthazar brings like all the pirate ships to come help. So I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
That was cool. Hmm.
That shows that he is a good guy because
Hmm.
there was supposed to be worry. I didn't worry, but there was supposed to be worry there. You could tell.
I didn't worry either, and the reason I didn't worry was Brody, his son.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Brody came into the picture when they were on the ship, I was like,
Yep.
okay, any guy who has his son with him on a ship like this, and he's obviously got like his stutter and all that kind of stuff, and he's not that bad of a guy. He can't
Yeah.
be that heartless.
I was thinking so too.
Hmm.
But yeah, then we have the water dragon. And then little Brody bonds with it and sends it
Yes.
back into the water, saving a
I
whole bunch of
know.
people. And I was like,
I know.
yeah, cute
And
little kid.
this little, when the water dragon bonds with Brody, I don't know, I think I have a soft spot in my heart for Brody because I had a half cry here. I didn't
Did you
even,
really?
just wait. There's more.
Oh
There's
God.
more crying coming.
Oh
I gotta add
God.
it up at the end. I'm gonna have to like probably pause for a second and actually add up
Oh
what I
my
am at
goodness
for the series. So
gracious.
that was my first half cry.
Oh, buddy. Okay, one and a half.
Uh,
I'll add it as we go. One and a half.
I think I was already, was I at a one or a two
You
already?
were, I think you're at a one.
Okay.
So one
All
and a
right.
half.
Okay, one. All right, cool.
Okay, so 51. So Dusk is Dunzo. Dusk
Yeah.
is gone. And then we have 52. So Night and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Estrella are
Yep.
nearly
Hmm.
dead. And then he like takes her to the mirror and he says like what she had thought at the beginning of this chapter that if they become Dusk and Dawn, they can like save the realm because the realm is now
Hmm.
collapsing because Dusk and Dawn are both gone.
The balance. There's no balance there.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So really collapsing. So they decide that like they have enough time that they can save the
Hmm.
realm.
Hmm.
And then chapter 53, A Knight's Mama. What do you have?
Yeah. So Marvelous is her name. Again, I said this earlier, but there's a little extra. So the spirit of souls, the goddess of the stars, mortal mother of the gold-eyed children. Now she was the primordial of dusk across all the realms and ages. So this almost gave me a half cry, but it wasn't quite, so I'm not counting it. But he's in like this white nowhere space, basically. And she's there, and but she's not like all the way there, but she's there, and she's like tender and sweet to him. And he's like, she calls him my child, and he's like, I've never heard that from a parental
Right?
figure in a gentle way. And she's like, you have more to do on the realm that you've chosen, and I've got this. I'll take this burden from you, basically, and takes the vial of Dusk's blood, and she becomes Dusk. She
Yep.
becomes yeah, the I guess goddess now of
Yep.
Dusk. So I did love that part. And again, I think Marvelous is I don't think I know for sure that she's got to be a huge player in the other series.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. And then chapter 54, the whole thing with Cassia and Calix, and they
Mm,
become Dawn.
yeah.
And then
I full cried here.
you full cried.
Full
Oh,
cried. Tears actually rolling down my face on this part. Why?
oh,
Don't tell. I don't.
two and a half.
One and a half, I think.
No,
Nope.
you already had one, and then we just added the half, and now
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
another
yeah,
full
yeah.
one. So two
That'd
and a
be a
half.
full one. Yep,
I'm
yep,
adding you
yep.
two and a half. Yep. Okay. Two and a half.
Yep.
Um, so then 57, which is one of our last few chapters here. I think it is our actual last chapter of
It
the
is,
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Besides the epilogue.
Yep. So Leviana, the sister, she's dead. Um, and then the twins are now finally on page for three sentences, I guess.
Hmm.
Which I don't know. I thought it was weird, but at the same time, it was like okay, let's just tie the loose ends in here somewhere. So that was just kind of
Hmm.
strange to me. But I guess like they have families and all that. So
And they've been
uh
living on the uh,
North Star.
basically, well, I think they said that because last we knew they were at the North Star and this was in a flashback. And then they said that they've been living on the like ungoverned, it's on the map, the like I can't remember what it's called, but like the ungoverned lands of Althenia, where
Mm,
there's like no conflict or
yeah.
whatever. And they say how they didn't even know anything that was going on.
Yeah. It was kind yeah, just kind of eh.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think in a way she set it up to be like the Forgotten Isles. That's where they are. The Forgotten Isles.
Yeah.
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 So I think in a way maybe the author was setting it up to be like because Estrella also says how she wants to use kind of maybe they can be helpful in helping her figure out how to bring that to the rest of Solanas,
Yeah.
the no fighting, everybody gets along, no
Everybody gets
conflict
along, which was
situation.
the plan to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see how it got tied in there. But yeah, I
And
agree. It was kind of like a quick, like, oh, we got to tie up this loose end real quick.
yep. And then so basically she appoints Zadkiel to be the High Celestial. So basically
Yeah,
taking over Oster's point, which like he like Zadkiel was one of like the orphan kids or whatever
yeah, we do get a quick
that
little flashback on that when he's
yeah,
a
that
kid.
Oster yeah
Yeah,
raised him more or less.
yeah, he's like a father figure, big father figure to him, and all this stuff. And I don't know. This part
Yep.
also, I half cried. Again, another
Did you
half
really?
cry here. Why? I don't
Three.
know. It was like the whole, I could just feel the emotion coming out of him that like he's like, I know he was a bad guy in the end, but I knew him as like my father and he wasn't all bad. And Estrella's like, you're right, he
You're
wasn't all
right.
bad. And I can
Yeah.
remember and I mourn that part of our relationship too. And I want to appoint you. And then he's like, I'm not a high celestial. And I love that she appoints him because he's not a high celestial, but she's like, I'm bringing about a different era, like change and all this stuff. So you're it. You have the good memories. You have the good parts of him. So you take over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a maybe a if personally a hormonal portion to all the cries I had here at the end of the book. 'Cause, like, oh my gosh, it got me a lot here. So what am
Yeah.
I at now? Like a 2.5?
I think you're at a full three.
Good gravy. Okay.
And then like also I didn't put it in here, but like how she's just kind of like makes up with Taryn at the end and how he's just kind of like
Yeah.
he's still his bitter self, but like she gives him a hug and like he eventually hugs her back.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think about was the videos I've been seeing about the like hug your brother-in-law thing or whatever.
Oh, I haven't seen
When
that.
oh, so it's just a bunch of chicks and they just like run up and they like hug their brother-in-laws just to see their reaction and like they videotape it and stuff. I was like, I feel like we should do this. The only
Oh
thing
no.
is like my husband would hug you and Emily and everybody and give you
I
big bear
hug all
squeezes.
of my brother-in-laws every
I
single time I
go,
see them and
I
before
I
they go
would
home.
I would go hug your husband and
Yeah,
I would get like a middle finger and I'd get pushed over.
you'd get a hug and then you would get
I'd get
a
a
middle
half
finger.
hug, a middle finger, and like pushed over. But it's cool. I
That's
push him
just
back.
like how our family is, the Connor side of the family, because we are all big huggers and they all walk in the door because I host all of the gatherings and my
Oh, I
husband
didn't
has a
say
very
anybody else.
large
I just
family.
meant your husband.
Oh yeah,
But that's
yeah.
just the relationship we
That's
have.
100% what would happen with those two.
And then my husband's just this big teddy bear.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, okay,
Take a
I give
hug.
you hugs. I pick you up. I give you bear hugs. I crack your back. He's so
Your
sweet.
big old sweet Sasquatch.
My golden retriever Sasquatch. Yes. Oh man. And then so I liked how this ended, and I usually like the last lines of books, and I don't really care for like epilogues and stuff like that
Yeah,
when it's like supposed to just be like the end of something.
the end.
Obviously,
Yes.
if it's supposed to like be continuing on,
Mm.
like the epilogue can like add extra like stuff to it, which I do like that.
Mhm.
But this, I think we should have ended with just Night telling Estrella her little bedtime
Bedtime
story. And
story.
I thought that
I
was
agree.
so cute and I loved that.
And I'm kind of thinking that if there wasn't the other series, because obviously he shows her like in the epilogue, he's showing her his realm that he came from, the make the connection between the Phoenix, because we have been curious about the Phoenix the whole time.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what the final book, I guess, in the other series is about. I mean, based off
Mhm.
the title, that's what it's about. So I think if it wasn't for the other series, I would agree with you. But knowing that this other series is out there and she probably was trying to tie all the like multi-realms, multiverse thing together is probably where the epilogue came from. But I agree with you. I actually even thought that the book should have ended, oh, I think it was chapter like 56 or something, when they come back finally to their realm after the whole like Cassie and Calix take over Dawn and his mom takes over Dusk and then they come back and they're standing on the cliffside and they're talking
Mhm.
about like, you know, we don't
I
need to
think
go
this
down
is where we should
there.
build our home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should build our home here, blah, blah, blah. That's where I actually thought the book was ending, and then I re looked up and I realized like, oh, we still have another chapter and an epilogue, but I it could have ended there and I would have been totally content.
Yeah. I did like how we wrapped it up with like, okay, this is like the dead people. These are the like things we need to have addressed moving forward, but
Mm-hmm.
not like actually address them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, she still ended
Um,
it very well.
yeah,
I like the last chapter. I like the way I like how he ended it with telling her the bedtime story because it's
yeah.
kind of how it all started.
But I
So,
also I do like the epilogue when like
yeah.
she's talking about how like it's Knight's turn to like be free of like all the bad
Yeah.
things. Because I like when the male characters also get the backstory and they also get
Yes.
their resolution, and you can see that the male characters also get their happily ever after kind of thing. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I really like that. My husband goes, "What the fuck?" Ignore
I
him.
heard him.
Um, he's gonna tell you he doesn't have a happily ever after. Ignore him. He does. He's
He does.
don't worry, my Sasquatch is very well kept. Okay. I feed him regularly.
He is. He is.
So um yeah, I really liked that as well. And I do
Hmm.
think overall the books did portray like his side of the story as much as hers, which I
Yes.
really, really enjoy. I like that. I don't
Me
like
too.
when it's like, oh, I had a sad backstory, but like nothing of it and like no really character development or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. This doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
So
I agree. 100%.
I really enjoyed that.
Hmm.
All right. Quotes and honorable mentions. I think you should go first.
Okay, a little out of order here because yours is before mine, but I was in chapter 56. Okay, when Brody, like I said, this gave me, it was either, I think that was a full cry, was when Brody and the dragon, the water dragon bond. I got a soft spot for Brody, and now I'm thinking, because he's also like, they give him the trident, but
Mm-hmm.
like his dad's gonna keep control of the trident for now until Brody gets older. And I'm thinking, dang, I need a side series now of Brody growing up with his water dragon and this legacy and the trident. And I want to know
And being like the
what,
king of the seas.
yeah, I want to know what happens with Brody with this water
I
dragon and the
wonder,
trident and all that stuff.
I wonder if we can just come up with our own theories when we move into the Ever King next.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But yes, I agree. Like that. I like that too.
Yes.
It was good.
Your
I
turn.
I have one. I have one. And this has topped any of my honorable mentions for the entire series. It would be chapter 41 as a whole.
Yes.
And gosh damn.
Gosh,
No,
damn.
no, no
Gosh,
notes.
damn.
Absolutely no notes. The best ever, I think, so far that I've read in my entire reading career.
Uh-huh.
Chapter 41.
That was good.
No notes.
It was
Take
good.
notes. You should take notes,
Take
but no
notes.
notes. I
Be
have no notes.
inspired.
Be inspired. Chapter 41. You know, if it's a chapter 41 kind of night, you had a really good night.
Yep.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Love Island, who we're shipping it to. Also, I would like to redact my comment from a couple weeks ago about me and the pirate overlord because that was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. So I
Yeah,
do not
old
want
and
that pirate.
sickly and died on spot.
Just died on the
So,
spot, and it was so anti. It was the dumbest shit I've ever had. But yes, okay, so I'd like to redact that. But also
okay,
Lilith
redacted.
and Davina,
Yes.
they're cutesy. Rose and Zath make it like official.
Yeah. And then I'm back on the Dristan and Nadia track again.
Yep, yep, yep.
Their thing. They're going to the wherever they're going, the North Star with the monocular and all the treasure trove things, which I
Yeah.
also think might need to be a little side series or a novella or
Yes,
something.
because I was so excited for how like I thought all this was gonna play into it, and it like didn't.
Yeah, I know. I
It was like
know.
side quest stuff. We didn't get information on it. Like I want to know, is it stuff that Knight brought into this realm that wasn't from this realm? Like,
Yeah.
man,
I
I
want to know
just
about the treasure trove and I want to know about Brody and the dragon and the trident. And I feel like they could all of those elements be in one novella together somehow.
like a pirate book.
Yes.
Yes. Pirates. I'm on pirates. I'm on a pirate kick.
Okay, so somehow if we can get Chloe Peneranda, I still don't know how to say her last name, to listen to this,
We
We
would
need a
like
novella.
a pirate book
Yes, with the treasure trove and
at
Brody and the
least one
dragon and the
pirate book
trident. Please.
later in life because I mean that girl can write some spice. Holy smokes.
Agreed.
So like a later in life pirate book. That's what we
Yeah.
need.
Agreed.
All right. Final thoughts. What'd you think of this book? This series? I mean, we just kind of started talking about it, but
Yeah.
what do you think?
Um, I loved it. I did. I again, we talked about this a little bit. I was impressed that the second book was not like a messy middle. I enjoyed
Nope.
the second book as much as I did the first and the third.
Mm-hmm.
Love that it's completed, and I love that it was completed in three books. There was a lot of elements that came into all three books, and she did a pretty decent job of wrapping everything up. There was quite a few like, oh, I gotta throw this in there because I talked about it. I gotta throw this in there. Didn't love that part
Yeah.
as those things as much. I also wasn't sure if I was crazy, but kind of felt like all the way from book one through book three, there was some like scene changes that I was like, wait, how did we get here?
Yep,
What
I
what is
agree.
going on?
Yeah.
Um, didn't love that either. But overall, as a book, as a series, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was
I
good.
agree. Yeah, as a book, as a series, it was really good overall.
Hmm.
All right. Final cry counter. I'm at a 0, and we are
Good
not shocked.
grief. How are you at a zero?
I didn't it didn't make me cry. I wasn't sad.
Okay, I will say that she wasn't like maybe the best at pulling you into the characters as like maybe like our last series. Our last series was phenomenal at pulling you into the characters.
Yeah.
But what am I at? A three?
I
Because you're
think
right,
we
I was
decided
at a
you're at a
one.
3.
So a one, then a one and a half, then a full. So
So
that'd be
two
two
and a
and a
half,
half plus
and then
another
another
half. So
half.
you're right, I'm
So
at a full
3.
three. Full three, which might be a record for a series.
No.
No, not quite.
No, Blood and Ash, you were like a bajillion. But I mean, there's a lot
Yeah,
more
that's
books than
probably
Blood
true.
and
I think I was
Ash.
at a four something for Blood and Ash, but there's a lot more books. So for
Yeah.
three
For
books
3
being at a
books, that
three.
that might be a record.
To be fair, I was at a one until this book.
Until this section,
I pulled a whole 2 points off of this book alone. So,
2.5. Oh, wait,
like I
2.
said, I
Yeah, you're
feel like
right. We don't do math, we read.
there's a bit of a hormonal circumstance going on with the
You know
extra two
what,
points
girl?
here.
I'm in the same
But
hormonal circumstance, and I still didn't cry. Maybe I'm
oh,
heartless. I don't know.
nope, we're just different as far as that goes. I'm always higher than you on the. If we get a series that you are higher than me on the cry counter, I will be flabbergasted.
Yes. Well, then you need to read Anathema
Anathema,
and
I am planning on it
Eldritch.
later in the year
I
when right
know.
before
When
the
we
third book
have
comes out, I am going to read the
3.
first two for sure, so I can just keep going.
I can't
Fully
wait.
intend on doing that.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I had to yawn. Okay. So if you had to rate the book and then rate the series, what would you give it?
Okay, I have not rated the book yet on Fable because I just finished it like literally before I came down to record. So the book, I probably give a mm, four and a half. I'd give it a four and a half. And I
Mm.
would say that that was because I love happy endings. I like how it wrapped up. Um, it was a good book. The only reason I wouldn't give it the other half would just be because of, like we said, the like little loose ends that kind of felt like they
Yeah.
got thrown in there last minute, and a couple scene changes that I was like, well, how did that happen? Where are we at? As a series, I would probably also go with a four and a half, and probably for the same reasons.
That
Yeah.
checks out.
Yep. Yep. So four and a half all around. You?
I gave this book a 5. So
Did
I
you?
think that was the
Okay.
highest of all in
Wow.
the series. Yeah. And then I went about a 4 for the
Okay.
entire series. So
Okay.
yeah.
What
I
was
mean,
your
I liked it a
reasons?
lot. Um, Probably kind of the same things. A couple of
Yeah.
things that I really like. I wanted to be bigger things that weren't kind of disappointing. Um, Same thing, like a couple of the scene changes was like, wait, what's going on?
Hmm.
Um, couple things like that. And just like the couple of like we were just talking about earlier about with the trident and stuff, like where it was confusing or like one thing was said and then like two other things were said later. And it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so actually how did this happen though? And it could have just been we read it wrong
Could have
or
been.
who knows. But um, so those were my couple of eh, eh,
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean that's high for me, like a 4 for a whole
That is high
series.
for you. Mm-hmm.
That's really high. So like I said, loved this book. I loved how it wrapped up. So I went 5. I just went
Okay.
for vibes on this, but I went
I
5.
like it. Mm-hmm.
Yay. Yeah.
All right. We hope you are all enjoying reading with us now for a whole year. To keep up with our next reads and other fun book-related stuff, we do all the things liking, following, and subscribing on all of our platforms.
Next week, we are so excited to head into the Everseas with LJ Andrews and book 1, The Ever King. We'll be slowing back down a little and we will be starting with chapters 1 through 17.
If you can't wait to talk about it, you can do so over on the Fable app and discuss with us spoiler-free chapter by chapter starting tomorrow.
And as always, buddy reading any book with Book Besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties. And if you don't have any book besties,
Then become one of ours. And until next week, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books of spice.
Bye.
Bye.